Chat, here we go. It's another Atow match. It's Atow versus Rezears, as he looks to play just about everybody who plays on EU servers who might stand a chance against him. Rezears is a top 1v1er as he prepares for the final EU regional this next weekend. I think Grid Serve Resolve, which is the team he plays for, is in a good position. Is in a good position to potentially make major, is my understanding. I think they might be on the outside looking in as it stands right now. But if they're able to finish off with a good event, they could find themselves in position to go to the major. I think KC is officially eliminated. I think they needed some people to not make event that did. But I have a feeling KC is on a revenge path. They will be playing in this final regional. And after they won every single one in the first major, I'm sure they have their eyes set on winning this one as well. But Rezears is going to get the first goal. They're confirmed eliminated. Yeah, I think they needed a few teams, probably including Resolve, to miss the event in order to be able to catch back up to them by winning. Rezears is rocking his team decal, and so is Atow. There's a lot of people whose opinion is that everybody should be forced to use their team's decal when they're playing in the RLCS. Or at the very least, the broadcast should show them in their decal. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm not sure that I love the idea, as Rezears first touch reset, tap on the top of Atow. He's a guy who can definitely contend in the air with the likes of Atow. For me, I feel like it would make the players be a little bit too similar. Like if all their cars were just the same thing pretty much, and then, you know, of course everyone's going to use Alpha Boost, and then, I don't know, maybe a different wheel on each car, but they might be all exactly the same. And I guess you could argue, you know, everyone in other sports wear the exact same stuff, but you can at least see those people's face. I don't know. I don't hate them being able to pick whatever they want. But to be fair, I haven't really seen any team ever do their full decals. Maybe that'd be sick. I don't know. Whatever makes them play the best. Yeah, I think that it still makes sense to let them play with whatever they want, but some people have been saying the broadcasters could potentially force, like in post basically, putting on everyone's like team decal over whatever they're actually playing with. That would be another option if we wanted to allow players to do whatever they wanted, for sure. Atow can't make it back to this kickoff. 3-1 for Rezears. You should run a tournament where Fennec and Octane are banned. I think people would just use the most similar Octane hitbox car, which I don't know which one that would be. But I don't think there'd be a ton of mix-up. I've never really had a problem with people using the same cars. I think it's become clear that cars will be, like, there'll always be a most meta car that most of the pros use, or at the very least the most meta hitbox. I wouldn't mind them going back to making, you know, more unique cars and more unique hitboxes, but I'm not sure it would result in pros using different stuff. They'd have to give clear advantages to certain cars to make like trade-offs and stuff, which I don't know if it's worth doing. You know, in theory, they could make like a really tiny hitbox car or something, but it goes 5% faster, or its max speed is 2% faster. And then all of a sudden, all the pros might be forced to use it. Maybe some people wouldn't want to. Some people think it'd be better to have the big hitbox. I don't know. In theory, they could do stuff like that, but they probably shouldn't. If you're trying to break the game, yeah, I don't think they should do it, but I think that's the only way people will change their kickoff, or not their kickoffs. Rezears just messed up this kickoff. But I think that's the only way they get pulled off of like a standard car. The FPS is so bad. I think that's on your end, brother. I think you just outed yourself for maybe not having good internet, which couldn't possibly be me, as chat knows. Rezears starting an air dribble from distance, but couldn't bring the ball close enough to really threaten the goal. And Atow is going to tie it up. So Rezears, a strong start, something that you probably need if you want to take down Atow in his current form, but couldn't hold on to it for the length of the game. Now going to have to earn it back. High flick from Atow. Ooh, a pogo shot actually saved by Rezears. Rezears needs to find a way to effectively dodge the Atow physical plays, and I think Atow had a bad recovery on the wall. I don't think he needed to be out of the play here. I wonder if it's going to show us. Oh, he got bumped. Yeah, he just got bumped into a 180 and forced to half flip off the back wall, or off the side wall, I should say. And he was never going to be able to make it back. So a lead for Rezears. He's the one scoring off the physical plays and trying to get back to this ball to protect it. Manages to get a decent touch as he's able to stay in possession as the ball gets sent into his back corner. And now can he chase Atow? No, he's not going to chase Atow. Instead, he's going to go full possession play. Allow Atow to get the back corner and take the ball to the opposite corner of the field and play a bit of keep away. Atow was going to turn on the ball. Rezears booms into the back wall, and a great play from Rezears to secure this game. Did not allow Atow in it, and then knew Atow had no choice but to try and break up the play early. So a booming shot guarantees the win, or it doesn't quite guarantee the win. He does need to be a bit careful on these kickoffs, as Atow will win this one. Didn't get the first touch he would have wanted, but still into his air dribble. Wants an air dribble bump and couldn't quite get it. Awkward setup, and Rezears is able to make the save. So game number one gonna go to Rezears, as he is looking strong against Atow on a hot streak. Game two, Rezears and Atow. Rezears able to go up 1-0. Atow is going to half flip immediately off the first kickoff of game number two. And Rezears handling it a bit better than Rise did towards the end of that last game. Rise never seemed to decide how he wanted to play against them. He tried to slow down, get possession. Rezears instead just boomed the ball to the backboard and said, go deal with that. Which still isn't great, but it's maybe better than just allowing him to challenge, because Atow still got his goal. He still got his possession, still got his goal. So still, you know, a win for Atow. But Rezears at least able to make him work a little bit harder for it on that half-flip kickoff. Rezears probably going to go bump here, yes. As Atow is going to be an easy target off of this chip setup. Can't really go touch the ball and put it any higher. When you get a single pop like that, that on its arc, if unaffected, will land high in the nets, there's not really much you can do to make a play on the ball, because you'll end up just hitting it to the backboard if you try to. And it's actually pretty tough to go save. It requires you to get high up in the air, and so it just makes you an easy target for a demo if you just get out ahead of the ball and protect it like Rezears did. And Rezears actually able to get a quick second goal as well, so he's back in the lead. He's going to go in and out of the net, and Atow waited for the 50 and seems to be playing the long game here on this possession. Instead of flipping early and maybe getting beat by Rezears recovering back down off of his save, he said, no, Rezears will not be able to keep me out forever. I will just low 50 as he comes back, steal his corner boost, and get my goal just a few seconds after I might have otherwise gotten it. Gonna chase Rezears down. Rezears dodges on the first go, and now he's gonna get chased again. You know, Atow, he might have people saying he's cringe if it weren't for the fact that he also throws in some of the craziest shots you've ever seen. But no question, with how much Atow likes to chase down demos, if he also happened to be a guy who mostly played on the ground through flicks or something, I have a feeling he'd have a lot of haters. Maybe he already has some haters. I don't know. But he also has these plays. This reset, though, is actually probably off the post and out anyways, and it allows Rezears a strong cross net save. When you can get a save with speed, it really enables you on the counterattack. And Atow fell into the net as well, so Rezears was going to have a serious edge. Atow finding a way to stay in control of his car despite getting a slight nudge. Just holding the power slide and flipping to reorient. Has the chance to get to the power shot. Rezears was making it tough, but he got it all the same. Rezears doing his best to either clip a bit of the ball or maybe bump Atow. Just make it tough for Atow. He still found the angle. Atow seems like he's learning from Rise. As this was Rise's key move in their previous match. He sees the Shadow Defender and he's just going to let him chip the ball back to him. No reason to follow him there to the goal line and allow him to get a 50 against another car, which would enable him to get the ball out of danger. Instead, force him to get that low speed chip right back into his control. Now Atow, low air dribble bump. Didn't really full commit on the bump ever. Rezears is around it, or is able to get around it. Now on zero as Atow's just biding his time. He knows Rezears has to give him the ball eventually, and he plans on scoring as soon as he does. And that's exactly what happens. Rezears. Oh my goodness. This setup is so strong towards the far post. It doesn't seem like he's possibly going to be able to make a good shot out of it, but the way he falls around the ball to get the reset and put it not even center of the net, back towards the right side, is something that Atow could not predict as a defender. I think this guy's going to hug at the midfield. You taught him that. Oh, numero uno, you taught him that. Wow, that's impressive. Chat, can we get some compliments for Rezears' coach? Who knew? Rezears again, showing to be effective in the air. Atow dunking this off the top of Rezears, has the boost steal, and Rezears will not be able to make it back. Lead again in Atow's favor. Ooh, Rezears trying to place perfectly into that top corner and not able to do so. And it's going to be a double jump shot to force Rezears into net. Rezears has more than enough boost to work with. He doesn't want to approach in this corner and get a bad 50. He's able to get a decent one. Rezears thought if he went all in on this, he could maybe catch Atow off guard. If he continued to use his boost and then went for the best possible 50, maybe he could force it in top right. But because he went for it, it was all in, and when Atow's able to make the save, he has now enabled the counterattack as well as worsened his own retreat. Rezears, oh my goodness. I feel like for some reason Rezears isn't seen as one of the most mechanical ones players, but my goodness, every time he plays, he's pulling off ridiculous shots left and right. And that one is going to bring him right back into it. Atow, though, kickoff goal to maybe ice it out. Rezears flicking this directly into Atow. Seemed like for a moment he was maybe going to try the Atow dribble where he keeps ball cam on, but ultimately did take it off and then just tried to flip top right. Atow covers it well and closing out the game to tie up this series. 25 seconds, still a chance if Rezears were to absolutely go crazy on 3 consecutive kickoffs, but that chance is already gone. Rezears is first to your mind when thinking about Mechie 1's players? Well, then you know ball. Well, then you know ball because he is indeed quite mechanical. Atow keeping the ball up, trying to get it to this Rezears pre-jump who's been floating for the past 5 seconds. Tied series. Atow, the game 2 win. Game 3, Atow versus Rezears. Been a good match for Rezears, who I don't think as, as polished in his ones game necessarily. I don't think he's been playing a ton of show matches. Maybe he's been playing a good amount of ranked, but I think as Raj showed in the previous match, you don't necessarily need to be playing a bunch of ones matches to be ready to go at a moment's notice. It seems to be the case here for Rezears. Power shot from Atow to punish, and he gets the goal. Ask Diaz to play Atow. That was actually one of the first. Atow's played a ton recently, now that I think about it. One of his first matches he played in his recent stint, I think, was against Diaz. He went to play on US East. Diaz did win that one, and Atow was like, I don't know if I can do US East ever. He was down to try it, but it seems like we got to stick to EU server opponents. Atow thought maybe he was going to go for the ground double, but he had already gotten the beat on Rezears, so didn't matter what he went for. Then he won a few in a row, played Nupo. Lost that one, won a few in a row, including a couple against Moxie before eventually losing to Moxie. Now he's won many more again. I think he's like top 5. He might have pushed into top 4 in RL duels if he gets a couple wins here today. He's definitely showing he's a top dog in ones. Atow, the demo, as he heads to the side wall. How old is Atow? I would guess 18. I'm trying to think of the Atow, Oski, Liquid team. They were both not able to play. I think they played in the 17? Oh, 17. I knew they were able to play. There was a match that Johnny did with the youngsters from EU versus the youngsters from NA. It was like Daniel, Evo, and Aqua. Daniel, Evo, Aqua for NA, and Oski, Atow, Vatira for EU. And Vatira was actually already 15, let it be known. Already playing in their LCS. And yeah, the EU team did win that one, as you might be able to guess. Yeah, so I thought Vatira was 19, so I went with 1 year younger for Atow. But I guess Vatira is 18. So maybe Atow's 1 year younger at 17. Rezears has not been able to find any scoring here in game number 3. Atow makes it 4-0. And now he's going to send this one to the side wall for another dribble. Rezears saw it coming from a mile away. It was a very slow setup, and wait a second, Rezears has a flip still. It's to the backboard and not in, but this will put it into the top left. Rezears, what an interception. Did he just challenge and jump off the wall? And still had the flip to work with. Yeah, where did the flip come from? I think he he must have landed on the wall, right? Right? That's a little pogo shot, actually too strong. Rezears seeing Atow back off. Will collect the ball for a catch, but can't get any flick going before Rezears is challenged. Yeah, we can go try and look at the replay. I think, was it even crazier than I thought? Atow, air dribble bump denied. Had a quick 4 goals, it would seem. Rezears has been able to slow him down, get a goal of his own, but gonna have to get a few more here in a minute 30. He wants to bring this one back. Has a reset at ceiling height. Second reset, flipped away from the ball, and this should just be an Atow goal. You can see Rezears basically dropping his controller because he knows he's getting scored on. Who did the young EU versus young NA video? Well, it was now, what, 2-3 years ago? But it was Johnny. And Vatira just carried, is what I remember. And I remember thinking, no fair, Vatira's 15. He's not truly next gen. He's already old enough. Rezears is going to get a goal from this. That was not a good enough clear from Atow. Purple Relish. Thank you for the tier 1 for 3 months. Appreciate you. Atow. Ground pinch incoming. Oh my goodness. I knew the ground pinch was coming, but I didn't know it was going to be 167 kilometers per hour. I think my monitor almost broke with that ball. Oh my goodness. I think my heart stopped. That was ridiculous. Oh. Wow, I'm in the aftershock of the pinch still. Oh my. Wow. Oh. Okay, yeah, I mean, Atow, he's just getting a bunch of kickoff goals. I mean, I understandably, that pinch is worth like 7 goals. So it makes sense that every follow-up goal is his. Oh my goodness. Whew. I feel unsafe knowing that pinches like that are possible. Okay. 30 seconds left to go. I guess it's still possible Rezears could bring this game back, but I tell you what, I'd worry for my safety, not just about the game. Rezears does get around this one. What a lackluster finish if somehow Rezears does manage to get 3 goals in 15 seconds. I mean, it's not impossible. Atow does need to focus up to make sure this is a game win for him. He goes to the wave dash kickoff, but is a bit slower than Rezears, who gets down early, gets a bump, and even though he gets possession, will not score quick enough. One for the road for Rezears, maybe? Yeah, nice flick. Oh no, it's gonna land on the ground before falling in. Game number 3 gonna go to Atow. Up 2-1. Game 4. Atow versus Rezears. The battle of Williams Resolve. Grid serve resolve. Actually, I think it's not Williams. Is it not Williams anymore? Grid serve resolve. And KC. Rezears trying to get the flick top right as a way to finish off the kickoff. Going to need a reset, and again, so often players will be going for shots that I want to say are impossible, but I know better. I know better. I see Rezears going up for a reset, and I think, surely there's no way he can get this on target in a fashion that could actually score. But I don't say that. I just wait to find out, because I'm often proven wrong. Although this time Rezears did just bail out, and I was indeed right. But he'll find his second goal all the same as he falls off the ceiling and is able to outplay Atow. Did you see KC's arena? They're building like a whole stadium, right? Or they have like partial ownership of a stadium. I remember when the news about it came out. I have not seen it. It made me start to think about the idea of home and away games for esports, which feels really cool. But of course, I don't know if we'll ever be there. Yeah, it's a great set of saves from Rezears. The fact that he managed to not let that in ever. Atow forced to drop the what a save. That's all he had left after the long defensive sequence. And now he's just going to hand the ball to Rezears. And sometimes it almost feels like players earn their goals, you know, on the possession previous. This one certainly felt that way. Atow's like, what can I do? I can't do anything from just outside his net. What should I do back here in the corner? Oh, before I know it, I've gifted him the ball and gifted him a goal. Rezears giving Atow a taste of his own medicine. Gets the demo and makes it 4-1. Atow trying to fight right back, but he gets this demo in his defensive half, but actually just puts pace on it. He did a slight hesitation, and this is to get Rezears to stop moving so that he doesn't get a save with momentum. So Rezears has to hit the brakes, and then he just puts power on it and knows that it'll be enough. Rezears cannot get it out. High flick. Atow wants to save his boost if he can, and he's allowed to. Rezears does not challenge again. Atow gets the ball all the way onto his car for a carry, and now has it outside Rezears' net. 12 boost to work with, though, and he just passed Rezears the ball. That's going to be an easy goal. Atow wave dash kickoff to get a third to stay at the heels of Rezears here. Can Rezears find a way to score this? Yes. He was looking like he was setting up a wave dash kickoff and just popped over the ball. Atow, yeah, was just going for a chip. Very, very interesting. I'm not sure I've really seen that work effectively unless he's expecting a delay. If he thinks Rezears is delay kickoffing, then maybe he could chip over the delay. But driving straight under the ball, not very effective strategy normally, and it does not work here. Rezears just a couple pixels away from getting hit by the demo as Atow sets us up on the side wall. A little wall dash from Rezears in an attempt to cut the play off early, but he manages to cut it off all the same. He just doesn't do it early. Retreats back and steals it out of the air. Now Atow going the length of the field. The Diaz signature dribble that he's been using in his ones game. It's almost Diaz's main form of attack. Atow's thrown a couple full field off the back walls here and there. He's got a minute 50, and he's trying to put Rezears in the blender right now, back and forth, over and over, until eventually he finds his opening. But Rezears has equal boost to Atow, so it's not a clear advantage. And now Rezears able to pop the ball with a huge flick. Well, it does seem like this might... Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be a goal for Rezears. I was going to say it might fall to Atow's control all the same. He's trying to never really allow Rezears the angle. But this ball bounces perfectly to him as Atow turns upfield. Are we going to see another Game 5? Rezears seems like he just ran into that demo. I'm confused. Seemed clear that Atow was trying to chase him down and get him. And yet he still just continued to drive into the corner and accepted his fate. Cheeky delay from Atow. He's thrown that in a lot. Not just when he's behind. But seems to be in his plan to find his way back. And he does get a goal shortly after. Now half-flip kickoff. Again, Rezears' strategy has been to chip a high shot and see if he can get Atow to use a bit of boost. And maybe not get as good of a possession as he would otherwise get. But Atow has scored all the same. It's just taken him a little bit longer, so still not the right answer to stop him. The problem is, I think the players have used up a little boost by the time they realize that Rezears is doing, or sorry, that Atow is doing it. So they have a choice to either stop and make a different play, now with even less boost than when you start with, or just drive into the ball with speed and just chip it, because you can at least get a strong touch. And that's at least what I imagine Rezears is thinking. Might as well keep my speed going since I didn't read this early enough, and see if I can just chip it to make it awkward for him. And he hasn't been able to. 30 seconds left to go. Atow, I don't know if he could have gotten around that ball, but he touched it off target. He's in a great position now, though. Rezears has escaped this a few times. The difference is that it's a huge boost advantage for Atow this time. Still a great 50 for Rezears. Atow, oh, what a risky save, but it's perfection to bring the ball away from Rezears, who was waiting in the corner, into this air dribble. Atow has the reset, but denied on the crossbar down finish. And with 4 seconds left to go, he no longer has that boost advantage he had earlier, but he does manage to launch this high and keep it in the air. Rezears trying to chase him down. Atow pops it up. Likely going to be a fake here from Rezears. Atow able to keep it in the air. Can he do this forever? No. It will hit ground, but what a save from Atow earlier to get himself a clean possession. A big risk, but it paid off perfectly. Credit Rezears for getting the save and forcing Game 5. What made Zen so dominant in that 1v1 streak and RLCS wins? Why can't he repeat it? He was like a whole step ahead when it came to car control and like mechanics. I feel like Zen was like a whole nother human. And he still is, but I think the gap is smaller. I think there was a fear factor with Zen. There probably was. There probably was a bit of fear factor. I think there's also, I think Zen, right before he joins RLCS, which I think is around, or like right as he joined RLCS, I think is when he was doing that streak, is like peak grind time for Zen. Zen's got to be most excited to play. He's probably most locked in. He's, you know, prepping and grinding as much for matches as he possibly can. Whereas in his ones grind now, I doubt, you know, if he were to play ones right now, he just isn't as locked in about it as he probably was during his huge streak. Rezears opening up Game 5 with a full field dribble attempt, landing far short of the net, which I almost appreciate when players do, so that everyone can understand just how insane it is that Diaz does it with ease every single time, travels the length of the field and finishes off the back wall dribbles. Atow able to intercept the strong touch from Rezears and convert it quickly for a goal. Atow kept ball cam on as long as it made sense, as long as it gave him an advantage, but as soon as he decided Rezears is behind the ball anyways, either way, he took it off. No midfield boost for Atow, but he continues try and be in pest. Now he's going to leave. He stayed after one more wave dash to force Rezears into an awkward jump, so he didn't get a clean collection of the ball and then left. Problem is he still gave a ton of space. What Rise did really well is on very little boost, he managed to stay in that play. Because both Rezears and Atow, I mean, most top ones players are not players you want to do that full retreat on like Atow did, where you leave the play completely, grab the back corner boost, allow them to set up whatever they want. It often gets you scored on. What I think Rise did well is he just went all in. He just tried to stay in the play at 0 as long as he could. And, you know, maybe if he gets beat, well, you probably would have gotten beat anyways if you backed off. Right now, Rezears, what is this shot? The good news is that, oh no, never mind. He didn't have the worst recovery. You know, if he had flipped forward, he'd have been even a worse position, but doesn't matter. The shot was just too weak. Another hug at the midfield on the wave dashes. Atow has the resets, doesn't use it, just waits to get the read on Rezears, and is corrected doing so. Rezears wanted to wait on the wall, but the amount of wall he can wait on eventually ran out, and he knew he had to jump, and that's when Atow beat him. Rezears falling victim to the Atow half flip kickoff. Still has yet to find the answer. Or at least that one might have been a fake kickoff, actually. I was reading some chatters who want to have mod and want to play Cosmic even though they played him yesterday. Very confusing. Atow. Front flip to send the ball into the crossbar, trying to extend this possession out, and actually got there too quick. The pacing of your lockdown on the back line has to be such that you never show up at the other side before the boost has respawned. You need to make sure you constantly steal it. And don't get there too early. Atow trying to wave dash to put it behind Rezears, and then just absolutely sailed it on the follow-up shot. The good news is he was still in control of the possession, but Rezears just took it away. Atow was expecting a jump dodge, I think, from Rezears on a demo attempt, so he tried to pre-jump to get him. At least that's my understanding. Rezears gets his shot denied. First touch from Atow leaves a lot to be desired, but it is Atow, so he still gets the decent finish. These guys have been able to read each other, though. Rezears makes that save and booms a front flip just barely off the top corner. So many strong hits from both these guys as they seem to refuse to slow the play down. Rezears finally will, and actually goes for the ultimate slow play, a low 50. Atow's out of boost, and he's going to set up Rezears with an air dribble. What can Rezears give us here with 1 minute 20 left to go and in need of 2 goals? Well, he gets his first with a reset wave dash. Atow thinking about the ceiling challenge, decides not to, and cannot recover back down low enough in time. Another midfield hug. These guys love to mirror each other on the wave dash kickoff. Strong touch from Rezears. Plays away from Atow. He felt like he had given it enough speed to maybe catch Atow off guard with an immediate shot, and Atow was prepared for that. Camera check from Atow, see what he's dealing with. Back wall dribble, starting at ceiling heights, but again, falls early. Tough to keep the dribble going when you have to just keep it pinned at ceiling height from the very beginning. Easier to rise up at the start. 30 seconds left to go. Atow has Rezears on 0. Credit to Rezears. Getting a huge clear here, but he needs possession with 20 seconds left to go. It's been Atow with possession to end the game. He is playing safe take after safe take, although this one he did lose. And now Rezears, air dribble, it's a bump. Atow can't stop it. Rezears ties the game after about 30 seconds of time wasting, it felt like, from Atow. He did not get a security goal. And the moment he gives possession to Rezears, it's an air dribble bump and a tie game. Huge kickoff incoming. Delay kickoff from Atow. Chips it up high. He cheeses out the potential win. Rezears plays right into it. Rezears drops him the nice one. Guys, this is what I do every single time. I don't play a lot of ones ranked, but if I need a single goal, I also have no mechs, so I'm doing exactly what Atow does. Just stopping, stopping outside the ball and just chipping it over the top. So what I'm trying to say is me and Atow are the same. Big kickoff win to finish it. Hits it to the ground. Atow survives. Another Game 5 win for the Belgian. GG's. Thanks for playing. What a match. Love the cheese kickoff to end it.